Hi everybody, welcome back to Go Big Bore or Go Home, where recoil is required because we are the house of the rising gun. Today we're on part 2 of our 357 Smith & Wesson Magnum versus 10mm auto. Last time, if you recall, it was jacketed hollow points and we ended up with round 1 going to the 357 and round 2 going to the 10mm auto. So where are we today? Well, we're doing hard cast bullets. As before, we picked 2 different grain weights, ones that were particularly good for this bullet type in each caliber. I know it's not the same, but you got to remember different diameters. We want to try and basically put the weight that's best for that caliber for that purpose. So, last time we broke out dead even. Where are we going to go today? Let's find out. Before we begin, I'm just going to give you guys a reminder, like we did in part 1, which if you haven't seen, I recommend watching that first. The Ruger GP100 that we used in this video, I couldn't get chronograph data for because I forgot my chronograph the day we shot the video, and my brother then sold the gun. So I used the Taurus tracker that you're looking at here with a 6.5-inch ported barrel to get the chronograph data, hence the asterisk you'll see going forward, because while I wanted to give you a real-world number from a real revolver, it's not the revolver in the video, which is why the performance from the manufacturer is also listed. Just a heads up going forward so you're informed. Sorry about that, guys. I'll do better next time.
Steve here again with Go Big Bore or Go Home. We're continuing our penetration test with the 357 Magnum versus 10mm. We're shooting a 180 grain 357 Magnum load, about 1400 feet per second out of a GP100. We are using 3/4 inch pine boards. They are held tightly together for consistency, and we have 16 of them.
All right, so we're going to check it out. There is the 158 grain. We're going to have Steve release the clamp, and let's see where we ended up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa. Here, let's pull these 2 out. Here, see if you can separate these. I can't do it while I'm holding the camera.
There we go.
There we go. So it went through 9 and stopped in 10. There's the bullet. I should have brought some pliers. Let's see if it'll... That's pretty wedged in there.
I don't know that that's coming out.
See if we can pry that out in a minute.
And next with the 357 Magnum, we'll be shooting a 200 grain hard cast at about 1300 feet per second.
Okay, so there's our 200 grainer. Steve's about to release the boards. All right, so we got 1. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's okay if you got to pull it apart. I think so, yeah. So it went through 10 and stopped in 11. Whew. There's our 200 grain bullet. See if we can get it out this time. All right, so 10mm is up next. All right, back to Sean here. So Steve went ahead and put some hard cast 357 through our pine boards. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a 10mm. This is 200 grains of hard cast lead. This is a Grizzly round, and it's going at about 1250 feet per second. So we're going to go ahead and see how it does. Okay, so here's where the 200 grain 10mm hit. Steve's going to release the boards and we're going to take a look. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. And it stopped in 10.
Part of it here.
Oh, part of it's here? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's just, oh, is it? Yeah, part of the lead's here, and part of it's here. So that's 10 boards, just like the 180 grain did on the 357. So, not bad. All right, so this is our last pine board test. This is an Underwood round. It's a 220 grain hard cast 10 millimeter, going at about 1,200 feet per second. Okay, so there's the 220 grain. Steve's going to release the clamp. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stopped in 9. Almost went through, but not quite. So it looks like the 200 or the 220, either one is going to give you about the same. Boy, it split that board really hard, though. All right.
Hi, Steve back with Go Big Bore or Go Home, continuing our penetration test, 357 Magnum versus 10 millimeter. This time we will be shooting a 180 grain 357 Magnum at about 1,400 feet per second, underwood load, cast bullet. This time we're going to be shooting into cinder block.
Okay, so surprisingly, it's a good bit of damage here, but it just went through the one side. So that's it. Now we were looking in here, but we don't see the bullet. No. So I think it just kind of may have just been destroyed. Wait a minute. No, that's just concrete. Yeah. I think the bullet just disintegrated.
Back with the 357 Magnum penetration test. We are doing a 200 grain cast bullet at about 1,300 feet per second. It is a Grizzly ammunition load.
All right, so sorry, with the sun, this is kind of difficult. Let's see if I can. No. Okay. So it had the same thing where it went through one layer of concrete, but didn't really go through the next one. So we couldn't find the bullet again. There's plenty of pieces of concrete. I think again it disintegrated. All right, so 10 millimeters turn against the cinder blocks. You guys might have noticed, unfortunately, our other camera ran out of memory. So we're down to one camera. So Steve's going to be trying to focus a little bit more up on the cinder block as we shoot. So 200 grains at 1250. It's a Grizzly load. Here we go. Okay, so looks like once again, oh, well here's part of the bullet. I found the gas check. Once again, the 10 millimeter has only gone through one layer of concrete. It does look like it has given a serious cracking here, but nothing to write home about, really. Again, the bullet just seems to have disintegrated. There's little bits of lead in here. The gas check is really all I found. So, yeah, well, interesting. So we've got our last shot at the cinder blocks. We're using the 220 grain Underwood at 1,200 feet per second for 10 millimeters last shot. No pun intended. All right, so once again, We haven't had anything today that has done, gone through more than one layer of concrete, but I do think the 10mm has gotten the edge and overall impact. The last one, you could see it had a lot of prominent cracks. This one, it broke off this whole side. Definitely hit here and just disintegrated again. I would give the 10mm the edge here, but very, very, very slightly. I would even say it's pretty much negligible. Okay, so let's take a look at the bullets we could salvage from the pine boards in our test today here with the 357 Magnum and the 10mm. As you guys recall, the 200 grain 10mm hard cast actually broke in half. I wasn't able to get the chunks to come out together, so it really, I don't know, it was really kind of a bummer. It just, there's nothing I could do to salvage it to get you more data. But let's take a look at what we do have. Let's start with the 357 Magnum because I was able to get both bullets. Now, the first one here is a 180 grain bullet, hard cast, and this bullet retained 168.6 grains of its weight. And you can see it's still got some of the fibers there from, whoops, there we go, from going through that pine board. The 200 grain bullet, as you can see, this one's a little cleaner, but you can still see some of that pine board there. This one retained 185.6 grains. On the 10mm, this bullet, let's see, it retained 214.4 grains, and it held together well, which I wish I could say the same for the 200 grain bullet, but as I said a second ago, it came apart in those boards, so it was a little disappointing to see that. But in this case, both of the 10mm bullets went through 8 boards, both of the 357 Magnum bullets went through 9 boards. I think that's pretty clear that the 357 Magnum won hands down. Thanks for watching, guys. I think this video really kind of cleared some things up for us. After all, while the cinder blocks were definitely a draw, the pine boards was no question. The 357 Magnum handily took that round, which means my beloved 10mm has only taken 1 of 4 rounds, where the 357 Magnum has taken 2 out of 4. Meaning 357 Magnum, clear winner in this test. It's too bad, but what you gonna do? Hey, the results speak for themselves. I'd really love to know what you guys think we should do next, whether it be something where it's a caliber rivalry, like say the 44 Magnum versus the 41 Magnum, or a sibling rivalry where we've got the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum versus the 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum to see who's really top dog. That's always been a bit of contention in the comments, so let me know if that's what you'd like to see. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please click like and subscribe for more content, help support the channel. If you didn't like it, I really appreciate you giving us a chance and taking some of your time to watch our videos. And as always, guys, go big bore or go home.